Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
The Unsung Heroes program is a testimony to the power of recognizing often overlooked individuals who make a significant impact.
CIBC Caribbean wants to reward the unsung heroes in our communities. Do you know someone who's been doing outstanding work in their community or performed an extraordinary act of heroism, bravery, or kindness in the last 12 months? Nominate a hero today. Go to CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more.
Pleasant. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, to the regional and international diaspora. Welcome to today's edition of Valentine. It is the 14th day of July, 2026. Yes, it is a Tuesday, so choose to do something nice for someone. Whether you help them at work, you smile with them, you give them a kind word, choose to do something good. Just to remind you, we are on your FM dial for those of us who can catch us. For those of you who can catch us, we're at 98.9. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40. We're on Facebook as well as YouTube. Our local number is 466-0989. In the U.S., 1-718-285-6984. In the UK, 0333440065. Skeeter Mills, good morning. Gwenny, good morning. Cleo, good morning. Dave, good morning. Everyone that's listening, good morning. Sometimes the names are too numerous to mention. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Rita over there in St. Thomas. Miss Anita, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Auntie Katie up there in the U.S., good morning. Burl, Dennis, Javon, the few folks that I remember, good morning. Biff, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Cortensia. I'm blessed, highly favored, and giving thanks. What about you?
I am trying to be plenty better than yesterday.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret.
What's the secret?
You're doing an excellent job at it.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Yes, you're doing wonderful.
Try.
Well, I should say you're doing a good job, and the Huzzy is doing an excellent job.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, and give him my regards.
I certainly will. I'm sure he just heard you say that.
Well, tell him I want him to probably open a school or have some classes and sessions, and I'll be the first person to enroll on how he goes about doing that, and a special touch or whatever the case.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I may be able to enhance the relationships with the cousins.
Oh, Lord Jesus, help you in that. Help you in that this good morning. Folks, just to remind you, at the half an hour mark, we have Doc in studio. That's Dr. Natalie Osborne. And we are going to be talking about accidents. I don't know if she heard yesterday and she decided to follow up on what that is, but the topic is vehicle motor accidents, what you need to know. And let me tell you, when we dive into this later, you'll see all the harm that it can cause it's just a lot. It puts a lot on the system. It puts a lot on the individual. And I hope that after she's done relaying all this information, that it's an eye-opener, that we will get back to creeping, because, you know, when they said 20 miles, everybody was creeping. Soon as they, I don't want to say don't enforce, soon as they felt like nobody's watching, everybody went back to their regular speed, because I was like, wow, these people really creeping across Pond Road, because they zoom by Pond Road. But as soon as whoever wasn't watching, they went back to being their normal selves, and the zoom and the zap and the zip and all those things we used to see in the old time Batman and Robin. They're doing it all on the road. So we admonish them. Biff admonish you. I admonish you. The police admonish you. Everybody tells you what to do, but you still decide, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So we want you to listen. We don't want hurt people. We want you to keep your monies in your pocket. Everybody keeps saying things hard. You know, you mash up yourself, you had to pay the hospital if you're not a certain age. You had to pay the ambulance that came for you. You had to fix back your car. You're not working for a couple months or so because of injury. You could only get so much from Social Security. Come on, people. I know we don't set out to be in accidents or cause accidents, but sometimes the things that we do, for example, speeding, overtaking, the road rage, etc., we cause ourselves accidents. So let us all be careful today. Biff, anything to add to that?
You're 100% on the nail. The speeding and vehicles with I don't know if broken exhaust or something they put on and they come through.
It's not broken. They want it to sound that way.
I don't know. And then the
They say
music,
broken.
the expletives, the vulgarity, and driving through the top of, like the turning on volume so everybody in the community.
But it's an offense. But is it enforced? Because if it's enforced, then people won't do it.
We really got to question that, because, and you're right.
We really had to question that. We really had to tell the police they need to enforce.
And how to do it. And we should be able to make, well, I wouldn't want to say citizens arrest, but we as the individuals, we must be able to do something.
I don't even know if I want to make citizens arrest. When I see some things that are happening, my life is worth more than that, because these people are not thinking at the moment they're doing certain things. If not,
yeah, I agree with that.
You go ahead, but make your citizens arrest.
Something has to be done, man. I mean, I've seen people, even the speakers you have in your house or hi-fi system, I've seen people actually put them outside, facing outside in the vehicle. And I'm like, okay, so you're the DJ for a party?
Yeah, obviously, the party's on the road. And I feel sorry for them, because in times to come, they won't be able to hear properly because of all that noise that they constantly have in their heads. And as I said, you're young. You think it's cool now.
Most correct. And I keep...
All right, good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. How are you this morning?
Let me turn on. Good morning, Biff. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Welcome. How are you, sir?
Good morning.
I'm humble and peaceful. I just chimed in and I heard you all speaking about the loud noise and other stuff. Well, I believe somebody criminal act contrary to...
You have to turn on your radio. You know it's still high. We're still getting the feedback. Thank you.
Hold on, I'm turning it down. I believe there should be a law, an ordinance, where citizens could make arrest, and if they are not in power of doing such things, they should be able to launch a complaint, and should needs be, the DPP should be able to take that matter to court, and you are the witness, because plenty lawlessness is going on, and until someone see an officer in uniform, they will continuously do their stupidness, and those I condemn. So citizenry should be something that should enforce or pass for it to be effective. Because people get away with things. Why only when an officer is present, you will just temporarily suspend?
That's why we shouldn't need to have an officer present. We are all grown people, most of us that make these inadequate decisions. So we shouldn't need to have the officer present. We heard we have speed cameras. We started for a couple of days and then we went back rooming by the speed cameras. We
All the
don't.
time of
Yeah.
crime, especially when it's affecting you in your livelihood. It will continue.
We don't
because
listen.
you feel like you are nothing, ain't nothing you can do, but you should be able to enforce the law. And that is a breach of the quality of life. Noise pollution. I mean, people got to respect themselves first and stop being aggrandized, self-aggrandized. And they know what they are doing. But they, like I said, they don't care. But anyway, I will leave that there because I was able to give my perspective in such.
Appreciate it, Mr. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day.
Yes, sir.
But
And I keep saying, when I'm 100 plus, 101, 102, and I'm walking, going down the road, and if a new cousin were to say, "Psst," I want to be able to hear that high frequency. Yeah, so even when I'm using headsets, I don't turn up the volume and things like that, even radio in the house or whatever. And a lot of us may not realize it. But the older we get, I think naturally our decibels drop, the range
they
drops.
go down.
And never mind when we're aiding it with this loud noise and loud music and things like that. So I don't know. But it's just human beings.
All around the world, the same thing. In Guyana, they'll take away their sets of the buses for a while because some of those buses in Guyana, right, the sets are so high, they put them in the back seat. So the back seat now is almost to the roof. So, you know, when they go over the bump, because how carelessly sometimes they drive over there, your head hitting the roof. They start taking away all the speakers from the busmen, blah, blah, blah. That was just for a little while.
put it back
Busman
here.
went back doing the same thing again. So it's for them to start over. So I don't know. It's like the laws are there, but to ensure that they are continuously enforced, something's lacking. And we have to do something to bridge that gap. Because why as grown people we need to be policed or we need to be supervised or, come on, we adults. We're not children anymore. We would have learned lots of things that should have made us wiser. And mind, you hear that word? Should have made to slow up so you could get in. Where you heading to the hospital? If you head into the hospital, you should have your flashes on. But come on, we can't be doing nonsense and then expect good outcomes. And when bad outcomes come, in most cases, to be mindful on the road. Drive carefully. We're not asking you to creep. We're not asking you to go 10. But asking you to creep. We're not asking you to go 10. But come on, let's exercise. You know you got let's exercise. You know you got somewhere to be. You can't leave the house at 8:30 and expect to get to work at 8:30. It just can't work. I tell you all the time, say, boss, I'm sorry for today. If you're a regular, I don't know what you're going to tell the boss because the boss might get fed up with you and send you home. But you can't leave at 8:30 to get there for 8:30.
It can't work. It can't
It
work.
can't. You ain't making up no time, bro. Take it easy.
As a matter of fact, Cartensia, with the increase in vehicles throughout the past couple of years, they sometimes, especially from the west side where I'm coming from, from the time I hit maybe even Challengers,
You have a line.
I have a line
Wow.
backing up all the way. So you're wondering, police up the road caused by was or the was student. But what I also find, the earlier you travel, the less that line is.
Exactly.
The closer you go to 8 o'clock.
The line increased because everybody's trying to get downtown for 8. I'm serious.
So all you got to really do is leave home 10 minutes
Early,
earlier.
yeah.
Wake up 10 minutes earlier, go sleep 10 minutes earlier, or do some things yesterday that you will do this morning.
But sometimes time still eludes you, you know. But you still have to prepare for that, as you rightly say. Let's try do a little extra 10 minutes. You know you live all the way over where you live, SP with the best B. You know you gotta get to town for 8. You had to do what you had to do to get to town
Say
for
that
8.
again, where do I live?
Huh?
Where do I live?
Newtown.
It rolls, I like how it rolls off the tongue. SP, where the best me.
I can't, yes.
But music, Cartensia, I don't know how much of a big fan you are of music, various types of music. Are you familiar with Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Yeah, I know the song.
Well, the singer, she passed.
Okay.
Bonnie Tyler.
How old was she?
Actually, I'm not too certain, but she was kind of youngish. I thought she was from the US, you know.
She was kind of youngish.
But she's actually Welsh.
Yep.
Total eclipse of the heart.
She got her 3 scores and 10. She made her last birthday this year. She's June the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
She died on July the 8th. What coincidence?
After?
Yeah.
And she
a
was
month after.
40, how much? 50, how much?
75.
Wow.
She
So
got
old
her,
she is?
She got her
She
3
was?
scores and 10 and plus.
She was in the USA for Africa.
Wow.
Wow. When they hype it, yeah, let us realize and turn it into gold or whatever.
I see holding out for a hero, total eclipse of the heart. If I sing you a love song, I think I remember that one. And if you were a woman, let me see if I see. Have you ever seen the rain? I don't know that. More than a lover.
I
don't
think
know
I've
that
heard
one.
some covers of that.
Straight from the heart. I don't know that one. Making love. Maybe I do know them if I hear it. Fool's Lullaby. All right. So condolences to her family and everyone else whose lives she would have touched. Yes. And we're gonna take a short break. We admonish you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's at Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge, Bar and Restaurant, opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool Runnings Bar, Old Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meal. Saturday, September 5th, Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September, link up at Short Boss at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day, Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Here's your Hostels Value Mart IGA Blue Tag Specials running July 9 to July 22nd. Morning Star meatless entrees $19.99. Essential everyday fries $15.99. Minute Maid juices $9.99. Essential everyday salsa $10.99. And Sueno liquid fabric softener $18.49. Essential everyday dry dog food $84.99. And now our value deals. IGA Essential everyday mac and cheese $2.99. Essential everyday canned tuna water and oil $3.49. General Mills cereals, $17.99. M toothpaste, $4.99. Rice-A-Roni, $9.99. 9 Lives canned cat food, $17.99. Shop smart, shop value mart.
And we are back on Island T, and it's just about 21 minutes after the hour of 8. Remember, at the half an hour mark, Doc will be in studio, and we will be talking about motor accidents today. I have a notice here, and it's from the Water Services Department. It's from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Energy and Utilities, and it reads, "Water is life," and it reads as follows. Recent upgrade of the water supply to the St. Peter's results in 24-hour service. To St. Peter's, sorry, not to the St. Peter's. To St. Peter's results in 24-hour service. The St. Kitts Water Services Department is pleased to advise the general public that effective June 19th, yes, that's last month, we're almost on a month, the entire St. Peter's community has been returned to a 24-hour water service. This was accomplished because of the addition of another well located at our Ponds Needmus well field, which provides an additional 150,000 gallons per day to the area. St. Peter's has been the fastest growing area of St. Kitts with a population of almost 6,000 persons, representing 20% growth over the past decade. This area requires a supply of around 700,000 gallons per day. The area is supplied by a well in the Basti area, 350,000 gallons per day, and Green Hill Source, 200,000 gallons per day, for a combined supply of 550,000 gallons per day. The addition of these 150,000 gallons per day has therefore enabled us to meet the average demand of the population. The area has 5 service reservoirs, each with a storage capacity of 100,000 gallons. Plans are afoot to expand these reservoirs in the coming years. We are only able to divert this additional water well to St. Peter's because of the recent commissioning of the 2 million gallons per day Bastyr desalination plant, which is now providing adequate water to the Bastyr-Frigate Bay area. We are proud that over the past few years, we have moved communities from Keon, Bastyr, Budrock, and now St. Peter's back to a reliable and safe 24-hour water service. Over 75% of our population now has a reliable 24-hour water service, and through the ongoing well drilling project, the other 25% of the population will be returned to a 24-hour service within the next 2 years. We thank the public for your patience and understanding while we continue the long and steady construction of the necessary infrastructure to increase our water supply. We also thank you for partnering with us in the sustainable management of our precious water resources by conserving and paying your bills so that we can continue to invest in improving our system. All right, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning. How are you?
Greetings. I'm well. Once you all are well.
Yes, I'm well.
Yes,
How are
yes.
you?
Good,
How
good.
are you and you?
Good, thanks.
Good, thanks. Okay, you know, the first caller used a word. Me people them didn't used to say donkey, they said donkey.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the conversation was about driving, but we want to switch it to the nastiness, to the littering.
Oh, boy.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They want to switch the reasoning to the littering. Because it not stop. The nasty people, them don't care. Have you still online?
Yes.
You know, see people them donkey and them just do what them do. So we just talk about St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Hell of a population, and they don't have a bus terminus, and the space for them use to catch bus, those who don't have vehicles, don't have no garbage disposal, and then now the Chinese them add to that with the supermarket. So people just buy and eat and drop. You know, and we are convinced, you know, we elders them tell us this, and we are convinced that nasty environment breeds other disorders, out of order things. Dirty environment. It breeds crosses. You know what I mean by crosses?
Mm-hmm.
All kind of things that is unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nasty environment. Because remember, you know, nastiness starts in the mind, you know. For you to open a sweetie to go eat and put the sweetie in your mouth and drop the paper upon the ground, the wrap upon the ground, it got to be in your mind first.
Yep.
The takeover got to be in your mind to put it in your pocket until it's proper disposal. You with me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything starts in the mind. So the nasty people them now stop the donkey. And then now I heard they all using the word enforcement.
Yeah.
That is like no, something wrong, man. Not something, whole heap of things wrong. Whole heap of things wrong. And then now we are talking about development and sustainable this and sustainable that. In nastiness. In nastiness. In the midst of crosses. You have a reggae song they used to sing a long time. 1 step forward, 10 step backward. Yeah. That we see. Yeah, man. We need to get we act together in the 68, 36. Sometimes we don't want to talk too much about Nevis, you know, because we don't cross there. I just saw we there, but they say we are the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So we still have to include it. But it's not pretty. He come like but me here talk about Guyana. So the situation is a regional thing, eh?
It's a worldwide thing, I think, because you don't want to see the littering in my country in Guyana, boy. You would be surprised.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah,
you know, me Rastafari Virgin, them invite me there.
You should go.
Yeah,
you should go. Go and experience it for yourself. Yeah. And you could see I didn't just promote the pretty parts of Guyana. I told you the nasty parts as well, because they throw things. They would eat something and just throw it in the drains. And then remember, we have snakes too. So they make extra breeding ground for those little serpents that crawl around. So yeah.
Yes, of course. That's what the nastiness do, you know. It breed art. Hey, me see some rat here.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, we soon get to them stage, you know. West Australia right now have a rat mice plague, you know.
Yeah.
As we speak, you know. And they say food. Eh? Beg pardon?
No, I was just gonna tell you we have to wrap up because remember we have weekly dosing.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Yes. Give thanks to the time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and thank you for calling.
And we'll continue this topic another time. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back with the doc. Stay tuned.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate, Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
This week on In Focus, Dr. Jensen Morton from the Ministry of Health shares the latest healthcare developments across the Federation, including a permanent cardiologist at the Joseph and Franz General Hospital the rollout, the continued development of a digital health information system, and practical tips to stay safe during the current heat. Join us for In Focus on this station.
Hey, here's your Hostel's Value Mart IGA Blue Tank Specials running July 9 to July 22nd. Morning Star meatless entrees $19.99. Essential everyday fries $15.99. Minute Maid juices $9.99. Essential everyday salsa $10.99. And Sueno liquid fabric softener $18.49. Essential everyday dry dog food $84.99. And now our value deals. IGA Essential everyday mac and cheese $2.99. Essential everyday canned tuna, water and oil $3.49. General Mills cereals $17.99. M toothpaste $4.99. Rice-A-Roni $9.99. 9 Lives canned cat food $17.99. Shop smart, shop value mart.
And we are back on Island Tea, and as promised, it's time for Weekly Dose. It's just about 31 minutes after the hour of 8. And with us in studio, we have Dr. Osborne. So welcome once again to Weekly Dose with Dr. Osborne. Today we will be discussing something that affects all of us, motor vehicle accidents.
Yes, thank you, Hortensia, and good morning to our listening audience. Motor vehicle accident remains one of the leading causes of injury and death worldwide, so especially among young adults.
All right, Doc. So why this topic today? As I was telling Biff, maybe you were eavesdropping on our conversation yesterday on Traffic Talk.
Oh, well, no.
Okay.
Well, we've been having a lot of motor vehicle accident, and my week ended of on-call, because we do weekly on-call, which was a lot last week, and ended with 2 major motor vehicle accidents and 2 critically injured individuals. But I'll give you a story of a couple weeks ago of a young patient as well too. She was driving in the middle of the night with her friend. I guess she was a front seat passenger, and they had a head-on collision with another vehicle because that one vehicle was trying to overtake and got into an accident. She had major injuries. Thank God her life was spared. But we're seeing a lot of this, and that's why we're discussing it today, because I guess persons do not understand from a medical point of view the ramifications that we do have as a result of these motor vehicle accidents. And it's not enough to just think if you get to the hospital, it's going to be fine. So our best bet is to prevent this from happening, and so that we can limit the complications, the injuries, because we're going to be talking about some of these injuries. They can be major, they can be minor. That happens as a result of these motor vehicle accidents.
And that's what I was saying, boy. You never know. It's sometimes the person that's not driving that gets the most oomph of the accidents, as we were saying this morning.
Oftentimes that is so, because they don't, the driver then will see what's going on or what's happening in the last minute, okay, and they can veer off, often
protecting themselves.
And the person, the passenger side often is unaware, and they get the most impact from it. So yeah, let's go on right on in.
All right. So who should be most concerned, Doc?
Everybody should be most concerned. Everybody should be concerned, but there's certain groups that are more vulnerable. We know that motor vehicle accident, there's some high-risk groups, such as the youth, between 18 and 25, the younger drivers. They're newer to the drivers. They're a little bit more fearless naturally, and they take a lot of risk. Elder drivers, the elderlies, okay, because they have slow reflexes. And sometimes there can be accidents not only from going too fast, but going from too slow and the lack of reflexes. So the motorcyclists, because they're less protected, they're just exposed than the cyclists. The pedestrians, we have a community, and I'm going to detain a second on this, that we do not watch carefully as we cross the road, and we put all of the burden on the driver often. And persons think, no, it's my turn to walk because I'm crossing a pedestrian crossing, but we've got to be careful and be mindful, make contact with the driver, ensure that they see you and that you're allowed to pass on, to go across. So drivers under the influence of alcohol, we are seeing this too much. People are having fun late at night, they're drinking alcohol, and because they feel like, well, I'm not drunk, but you are impaired. We're using lots more drugs in our community, and that can help cause an accident. And persons who are emotionally unstable, road rage, and sometimes we let our emotions get the best of it. And persons can get into accidents like that. So these are some of the persons who, because you're so angry, you're frustrated, somebody didn't let you get through, or somebody tried to overtake you, and it creates more chaos than itself. So, and we also know another factor is because in our Caribbean islands, our roads are very small and windy, and a lot of these accidents happen when persons are trying to overtake on a bend, okay, and that can increase a problem.
All right. So are there different types of accidents, Doc?
Yes, and we're going to take some time talking a little bit about this, and understanding each one of them helps. So we've got things like rear-end collision, okay, head-on collision, side impact or T-bone, roll-over accidents, and the pedestrian-related accidents, all right? So each one produces different type of injuries, Hortensia. So we have to keep that in mind, and each type of collision can create a different impact or a different result.
All right, so let's go through some of the injuries caused because of the different types of accidents.
Yeah, so when someone is rear-end collision, involving a rear-end collision, there is a sudden forward and backward movement or motion of the body. Think about that, especially the neck. So you have what we call whiplash. That's commonly known as a sprain or strain in the neck. Okay. All right? You're going fast and you suddenly stop, okay? Or somebody hits you from the back and you push forward and there's that motion. You could have pain in the lower back. You could have a mild head injury or something that we call a concussion, like especially if your face hit the steering wheel or the front of the vehicle, you can have those kind of injuries. Sometimes the symptoms can delay for days and for hours or for days, because if you have a concussion, you can have concussion symptoms for weeks or even months in some instances.
Oh boy. So what about head-on collisions?
When we have head-on collision, Hortensia, those are the worst. Those can be the most fatal. So you're having high speed, two vehicles or one vehicle hitting into a still or stationary wall or post, and there's a high speed deceleration because you're just going fast and there's a sudden stop. And so what happens, most of the injury are a result of moving forward and the projection of the body. So you can have traumatic brain injury. That means major injury inside of the brain bleed, damage to the soft tissue of the brain. You can have fractures or breaking the bones of the face. We often see that. You can have injury to the chest, like you break the rib bone. You can injure the lung, collapse the lung. You can injure the heart and have a contusion or bruising to the heart. You can have injury to the abdomen or the pelvis that's inside of your tummy. You can rupture or injure like your liver, your spleen, and have internal bleeding. And you can have lots of fractures like the long bone in our thigh, we call that the femur, that can be a result of the dashboard of the vehicle. And so the person, if you have a lot of blood loss, you can go into what we call shock. All right? So these head-on collision, they're going to be highly suspicious for multi-system trauma. These patients come in with injury to the brain. They have broken limbs all over. They have injury inside the tummy. And so these persons oftentimes can lose their lives as a result of these.
What can happen after a side impact? That's a T-bone collision.
So what happens, like your side of your vehicle, somebody hits you on the side of the vehicle. It's just the door between you and that other vehicle there. So that lateral force can directly affect the side of the body. You can injure your hip and have pelvic fracture, all those bones that support your lower body and your upper limbs. You can have head injuries, of course, especially if it's impacting the side, near the impact side. You can have injury to your shoulders, your arms, so you break the bones there. And you can have injuries to the internal organs. So if it's on your right side, you can injure the liver. If it's on the left, you can injure what we call the spleen. And these two major organs can bleed quite a lot, okay?
Right. So what can happen as a result of a rollover accident?
So with a rollover accident, there are multiple impacts with the rotational forces, and there's a risk of ejection. All right, so you got to keep thinking about that. Spinal cord injury. The person can become paralyzed. We often hear this and see this from our in our institution. Persons are paralyzed. You hear below, they can't move anything from the neck down, or they can't move anything from the waist down. And once these injury happens, they are permanent. And I know the community loves to say, let's give so-and-so a chance, but these injuries, science have not developed any way to reverse these severe spinal cord injuries, okay? If you injure or transect the spinal cord, you're going to be paralyzed forever, no matter how much resources you have. So we want to prevent these. So you can have multiple fractures in these rollover injuries, breaking your arms, your legs, and things like that. You could have crush injuries, and you could have a lot of bruising and aches and stuff, and contusion to the soft tissue, like all your muscles and those areas. So these are one of the rollover accidents. They have the highest risk, one of the highest risk of fatality, especially when you're not wearing a seatbelt. I mentioned a young lady a couple weeks ago earlier, and what I think saved her was because she was wearing the seatbelt. Okay. Because she had multiple internal injury, but because she was wearing the seatbelt, I think that she was able to survive that. So we want to emphasize to that seatbelts save lives, okay?
All right. So what happens after a pedestrian-related accident?
Think about it. So somebody is walking across the street and a vehicle comes and hit them. So you have that initial impact from the bump of the vehicle. That body then is thrown up in the air, can hit the person's hood or the windscreen, what you call it, the windshield of the car. And then you have that secondary impact when the body hits the ground. So think about that. So there's lots of head injuries, and that can be the most common cause of death. There are lots of broken bones, especially what we call the long bones, like your femur or your thigh bone, your bone in your leg. You can have injuries to your pelvic bone. So lots of persons coming with multiple fractures. You can have internal bleeding, spinal cord injury. Lots of times, the higher the vehicle is, the worse. Because, of course, a truck is different from something that's lower down to the ground, like an SUV versus a car.
Oh, boy. How serious is this problem globally?
It is very serious, Cartencia. So, key data. So, about 1.2 to 1.3 million deaths occur per year as a result of motor vehicle accident. And it's the leading cause of death in young people. Millions more become disabled, like you're paralyzed, you're disabled, you lose a limb. And that can change one's life. And for us in this region, in low and middle income countries, we carry a high burden as a result of these injuries. And this can lead to changing a person's complete lifestyle. If you're the breadwinner in the family, you're the parent, and you're now paralyzed or you're unable to work, that changes the dynamic significantly and puts a lot of socioeconomic strain on not only yourself and on the community, because we're often going around asking people to support, donate. Your family is going to get involved. People have to come in and I think. So I like to emphasize, when you're making choices, you think you're making this choice for yourself alone, but there's a ripple effect and a whole line of persons behind you who will suffer as a result of the choices that we make.
Indeed. So what causes most accidents?
Yes. So most accidents are preventable Quint. I hadn't seen you for a while, Quint, so good to see you again. So most are preventable and related to human behavior, Cartensia. Speeding, that's one of the number one reason, okay?
You too, and you are spot on.
Yeah. Distracted drivers. Lots of times we are using our cell phone when driving because we think we can multitask and do that. So most of it is now happening as a result of distracted driver. You're looking down, you're trying to, or your friends say, hi, what's up? And you think that you have to respond. That's why a lot of the young persons get involved. And when you look at it, because oftentimes, like in first world countries, when a person dies and they do their investigation, they're realizing now the messages when it sync up with the time of the injury and the accident, the person was texting, things like that. And fatigue, we know that being tired, it can be as equally dangerous as someone who's intoxicated. Poor road condition. When you have the road condition, the roads are slippery, they have a lot of potholes, and you're not careful. And vehicle defect, of course. If you have any vehicle defect, yes. And as we talk about road rage, you're angry. In lots of these first world countries, people have lost their lives. Persons chase down an individual and create something that can lead to death. And in our small community, we are often seeing drivers overtaking on a turn, because they think they can do it, but then they affect a whole line of vehicles behind. Somebody has to slow down so that they can get through. Yes. And sometimes these individuals who overall created the problem, they're not directly involved in the accident and they're gone. Okay, but they set up the situation that created that.
And same thing we were discussing this morning. So how do we prevent these accidents?
Yes, we often talk about, Quint, that prevention is key. And there's simple measures that we need to do. Always wear your seatbelt. We know that 50% of persons who die as a result were not wearing their seatbelt at the time of the injury. Avoid using your phone while driving. You better leave it in your wallet or your purse there at the back and just focus on getting to your destination. The 15 minutes or the 10 minutes in St. Kitts that it takes for you to get from your house to the office, there's nothing that's important that you can't wait. Obey the speed limits. We often fuss, these speed limits are too low, so we have to obey the speed limits and never drink and drive. Oftentimes when the patient come to the hospital, we do toxicology, the person was intoxicated. They had alcohol in their system. Ensure that your vehicles are maintained. You want to get your vehicle the prescribed maintenance sessions. Helmets for motorcyclists. And we want to improve road safety awareness, because some of these small changes in human behavior can significantly reduce death. Because often at the back end, we're saying we're sorry, but it's not enough to say that we're sorry. We've got to take the steps that are necessary to prevent it.
All right, caller, go ahead for Doc Osborne. You're on a weekly dose.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Catencia, Quinn,
morning.
And all those who are in the house. Thank you very much for sharing such very important educational information. Just the other day, I was traveling on the road towards the peninsula, and I put my hand to my mouth because a gentleman, well, he wasn't so gentle because he was passing cars under the hill around the corners. They say, well, he has special glasses. But I say that because I want to say this. Those who are on the road must put more protection in themselves rather than, and protect others in the same time by adding to your windscreen a dash cam. I advertise that very much because everybody is capable of doing things, and when they finish, it's not me. That is the main reason why accounting was introduced, because it keeps you in check and in balance. And when the police arrive, you create, like the doctor said a while ago, you create an accident, you create the whole thing, and then you're gone scot-free. But if they have the record that's showing what you do, then at least they'll have some evidence of the fact. The other day I noticed a gentleman get out of his car and he pulled a machete and went to another car. Well, something really went wrong with him then. So I hope that police look into these matters and see what's happened so that we can put an end to these road rage and our hostility. Thank you very much. And
Thank you. Thank you for
continue
your
to have a
comment.
wonderful week.
Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this morning's show. So, Doc, what should we do immediately after an accident?
We want to make sure that there's to ensure safety. What do I mean by that? You have a rollover accident and the car is on the side. You don't want to stay close to that vehicle. Get yourself away from that. What if the vehicle falls over? What if there's an explosion? So safety first, okay? And call emergency service. And we have to be careful by trying to pull, unless it's absolutely necessary, to move severely injured persons, okay? There was a young lady a couple years ago that was involved in a motor accident, had her pelvic crushed, and she was pulled from the vehicle, and that would have worsened some of the injuries. So we have to be careful. But I know that those who were there were trying to do their best and to support by moving her. But sometimes you've got to be careful. If everything else is stable around you, maybe it's best to just wait for the emergency medical system to come here and extract the individual correctly. So we have to be careful of that. You don't know what has happened to the person's neck. You want to be careful because they could have an injury to their spine, and that can be worsened with sudden movement. So in our helping, we've got to be careful how we do help. So that's what I would say.
All right. So what are some common injuries from motor vehicle accidents?
Yeah, well, just to make sure that we keep this in mind and to reinforce it to our audience, because reinforcement always, repetition is important for learning. Head injuries. There's a lot of these head injuries we cannot come back from. We've had, yes.
Okay, caller, go ahead for the doctor. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wondered what's the medical advice for if you witnessed, for instance, an accident, and what do you actually do? I mean, I know, for instance, the car seems to be, or vehicle seems to be close to being in flames, you try to get them out, but what do you do with somebody who's, let's say, in the car, maybe unconscious, if they're outside, if they're walking outside but seem groggy and so on? What do you do, and when do you, like, for instance, depending on the injury, I guess, they might be motionless, and you intervening may be causing, may increase the injury. So what is the advice? Do you just call 911 and leave it at that?
So I'm re-emphasizing again, what should you do immediately after an accident? You want to ensure safety. If you see the person looking, stumbling around, you can hold their arms and ask them to sit down. And then immediately, once there's nothing else going on, at that point, you call 911. If you have to help to extract a person, if you have there multiple individuals there who come to their rescue, you try to keep the neck and the head as stable as you possibly can. Lift the person instead of pulling them out. All right? If there is a fear of that there's going to be explosion, you want to move everyone away from the vehicle. So those are some of the things they do. Because if there are multiple persons on the scene, while some are helping, others could be calling the emergency service, of course. You've got to be careful. You want to ensure safety. You want to call the EMS, but you do not want to move persons kind of rapidly and wildly so that they can worsen the injury. So it's best if you have multiple persons.
All right, caller, go ahead for Doc Osborne. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Catensia again.
Morning.
Now you answer part of the question that somebody asked or you were explaining. In terms of an accident, doesn't matter have to be a car accident. And one sustained hyperextension and hyperflexion. What is the recovery moving forward?
The recovery?
Taken.
Mr. Welcome, could you repeat yourself? You broke up a bit there, so the question wasn't quite clear for the doctor.
Yeah, I was saying, in terms of an accident, doesn't have to be an auto accident, but one or two or many more sustained hyperflexion or hyperextension. What is the recovery moving forward for that patient to retain
You mean mobility in
Okay, so to see if I could help you is that we speak about high impact injury. So you have persons going fast and there's a sudden deceleration. You can have what we call forward movement, backward movement, okay? There can be multiple injuries. A lot of these injuries happen to the spine. We just knowing that they had these this type of vehicular accident, you cannot tell then and there what are the injuries. And recovery for anyone would be as a result of the level of injuries. First of all, on the scene, we're repeating again, you're trying to be careful in moving the patient, you ensure safety, and you call the emergency service, okay? And once the individual gets to the hospital, then a series of things from the medical team would take place, of course, to identify what the injuries are. And we cannot tell you at this point, it determines, we talk about some of the most common injuries, like head injuries, fractures, you could have spinal cord injuries. So we do not know the severity until we get them under the scan, see what's going on, see if they're able to move their limbs, see if there are broken bones or injury to the spinal cord, and then you'll be able to identify this. It takes weeks for some persons to recover. It takes years or even a lifetime. Some persons never recover. There's a lot of post-injury physiotherapy, and the persons may never be the same again. People lose limb as a result of a motor vehicle accident, okay? Persons lose their upper limbs, their lower limbs. They have major internal injuries, have to lose a kidney, because we've had persons because of those high-impact injuries, and persons die as a result of that. So you can't say exactly the outcome, because you have to determine what are the injuries, all right?
Okay.
Very well answered. I use the term hyperflexion and hyperextension, but commonly known as whiplash. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to...
So we spoke about whiplash. That happens oftentimes when the person is rear-ended. So the person, you go forward, the head goes forward and then backward. Yes, depends on that. We've had person, I remember some years ago we had a person involved with a motor vehicle accident. He comes out of the vehicle and then he drops to the ground, or he's sat down, and that was it. He had injured his spinal cord at the level of the neck there. We call it the cervical level, and he was paralyzed. So the level of injury is going to determine by a lot of things, the impact, the force, how the person was if they were wearing their seatbelt. We have a lot of injuries to the head from individuals who weren't wearing their seatbelt at the time of the injury. So thank you for your question and your concern. So the emphasis has to be wearing your seatbelt, being calm when you're driving, not texting and making unnecessary phone calls that can distract you, because sometimes a millisecond or distraction there can change everything forever. Persons too, the pedestrians. I want to say this. I think a lot of the blame and the responsibility ends up on the driver, but the pedestrian have to protect themselves. Be careful.
Okay, caller, go ahead for the doctor. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Good morning to you and good morning to the doctor. Before I want to find out if this program is just about like accident or any medical situation.
Well, today's topic is about motor vehicle accidents.
Oh, okay. So it won't be necessary to interject any other type
Not
of,
at this point.
Hello?
No.
Okay. All right then. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome, sir.
So just to remind the audience, every week we're here and we talk about different topics.
Yeah.
Sometimes we give the half hour to a particular topic, because I'm trying to do this series as educational, not just talking points, because we have to make sure that we're informing our public and persons can be aware. So over the years, we've brought many topics. I've got hundreds of topics that we've spoken about. And just to remind the audience that sometimes they're uploaded, right, if they want to go back and take a look at it. But we try to to bring in the half hour quite a lot of different areas. So today we were focusing on, because we had some severe motor vehicle accident in the last weekend, over the weekend. So we use what's going on in the community and the health and relate it back to our listening audience so that the community is informed. Because I'll mention this because I've been a part of caring for patients who've had motor vehicle accidents and have injured their spines. And that is one of the most significant injuries. Someone who is young and healthy and was ambulant, they're walking, and now they are now paralyzed. And the public are always saying, let's give them a chance. But I try to bring rationality and logic to science. When the spinal cord is injured, there is no chance if it is transected or cut across or injured. Science has not learned to regenerate the spinal cord. Some people may get better, but it's not that the spinal cord was transected or cut. They may have some swelling to the spinal cord and then they improve. Some persons say, well, such and such had a spinal cord injury and they got better. A lot of these times, it can be swelling, and when that swelling resolves and with physiotherapy they can improve. But if the spinal cord is severed or injured, a couple of years ago, and the families and the communities get really upset with the healthcare professionals and the providers because they think you're not giving it a chance when you start telling them the reality. There was a young man on a motorcycle accident and he injured, I think, around the level of the spinal cord in the thoracic spine. We call that level.
The lower ones.
Yes, and it was completely one bone, or we call the vertebrae, was separated from the one below, and he was paralyzed. And we explained that to the family, and we talked to them, and of course, in their understanding and coping, they get upset with the healthcare providers, and they think that we're against them getting help, but we tell them the reality. So I emphasize that so we can go back to prevention. We live in a small community. We need to insist that persons follow the rules. I often say when you're in a rush to get somewhere, you go nowhere, because when you get into that accident, you're detained there for 2 hours, 3 hours. So if you had waited that extra 30 seconds, Quint, you would have gone about your day. But we're also impatient and stuff. And if you think you need to get there by 8, you can't leave at 8. Do you understand? So make sure we leave on time and we are calm when we're leaving. We do not start texting. And these are the things we've got to prevent it, because we don't know what's going to happen when it happens.
Doc, the children, I don't want to leave them out because we see parents still allow the children to stand in between. That irks me so bad. I don't have kids and it crawls my blood. Can you please tell them something different that we were telling them, please?
We need to emphasize, and I think, I don't know what the stance here from a national security and the police point of view, but I know in like a first world country, your babies and your children, the minors, have to be in a car seat strapped until
that's the rule here right
that's
now.
The rule. Yeah. I don't know what is the age it has to go up to. I guess the police should be able to tell us that.
I think, if I remember correctly, it should be 12, if I remember correctly, with the booster seat.
With the 12 with the booster seat? That's a lot.
No, that's a lot. No, I think up to 12 with the seat belt. I may have to research, but the booster seat should be about, I think it's 6 or maybe 10.
Maybe it's
I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to say the wrong thing.
But what we're saying, though, we have to have the proper car seat. That's essential for the minors. So I'm talking about those who are 6, 7, and below those kind of ages. I know that you have to have them in that car seat to protect them. And of course, if you're grown children and the ones who are 13, 14, those we call tweens, they should be strapped. There's seat belts at the back of the vehicle, in the back seat. We hardly use them, but we need to emphasize that your school-age children, so you're taking your school, wear their seat belts. And the adults at the front, you have to insist. I know there are penalties if you're not wearing your seat belt. So we have gotten better at doing that. So we need to be careful and drive responsibly, because every decision you make behind the wheel can not only save life, but it can cost a life.
Yeah, boy. And we see that, Doc. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for this informative discussion. I hope you have a good day. And please, I know the doc need work, but let's be kind to her this week and don't give her too much unnecessary work where we can prevent accidents, okay?
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome, Doc. You too.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate Nevis. TDC Automotive, number 1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Natural you with Fruta. The juice with the great flavor. What? Nothing nice like Fruta. The best juice come from the nature. Where fun and flavor collide. Perfect thing for nice up the vibe. Live Fruta full, yeah, that's my style. With Fruta, every sip, leave a smile.
Live Fruitaful. Look for us on the shelf with our new packaging. Enjoy 100% natural juice flavor. It's so fresh.
Live Fruitaful with Fruta.
And we are back on Island T, and it's just about 8 minutes after 9. Do we have somebody on the line? Okay. All right. So as we continue along, we're supposed to have a guest at 9:15 as they will come in to speak about the robotics camp. We know it's summertime. We know a lot of camps are out there. So for those parents who are interested in allowing their children, wanting their children to attend the robotics camp, listen in for the information. We know we have football camp coming up soon. We have for girls, we have for males, we have for boys and girls. There's just a lot of camp, government camp, all kind of camps. So just listen out for this particular camp information that we will be sharing with you today. Now, Biff, I was telling the doc, it seemed like she heard the conversation yesterday and she heard the conversation that we were having before, and maybe people might have thought that me and her had a conversation, but a lot of things that we said, she repeated it again, and folks, we didn't have a conversation, but a lot of it just makes sense. If we would slow down, if we would take our time, then we won't be, health costs a lot of money. And imagine when your family getting problems, we got to do GoFundMe, we're doing a barbecue, we're doing a cookout, we're walking around with sponsorship. And only then, although we should be nice and kind human beings, we say, anybody send I to get their eyes off and anything, it sounds harsh, but that's how we sound at times. But let us be careful. She spoke about the road rage. A gentleman called in and spoke about the road rage with the, as some countries would say, the chopless.
Machete,
He
cutlass.
called in and spoke about that. We just have to be mindful, you know. There's too much going on. 1840 doesn't have space. The hospital have limited resources. Yes, I'm going to say limited, so it will deter us some more. And if we don't take care of our people power that we have right now, and that includes our doctor, then what happens when we don't have any? So I'm not saying not that work shouldn't be had, but I'm trying to find the right thing to say because I don't want to offend anybody. But we just have to be mindful of the choices that we make in life. And we have to make informed ones. I don't think you could beg them enough. I always begging, the police always begging, somebody always asking to be careful. But yet we still getting into these accidents.
And well, the doc mentioned telephones and
yeah,
things like
we had to stop with that.
Even with passengers,
Mhm.
sometimes you might take your eye off the road and turn to the person, eye contact, and by the time you turn around, it only takes a split second, especially if a vehicle is in front of you. And I've had some close calls, and one of the things I
Driving
always
yourself?
try to do, yeah,
Okay.
sometimes just look away to, oh, that's a lovely house up there, whatever the case is. You take
eyes on the road.
Yes,
eyes on the road.
it only takes that half a second. By the time you do so, especially if a vehicle is in front of you, the vehicle stops and you're now scrabbling. And if you didn't have that space, you went into the back. And the speed limits, we always have to honor the speed limits.
But we're not. We just complain. It's too slow. It's this, that, and that. And same thing as she say, you can't leave 8 o'clock to get there for 8 o'clock. What's the sense?
And the distance behind the vehicle in front of you. If they stop abruptly,
you're supposed to see the wheel and the number.
And slow down comfortably.
Oh boy. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. How are you doing today?
Yes, just calling in again. It would have been, actually I didn't act, I guess it would have been better if I had asked it directly. You know, when you look at movies, in the movies you see things like people talking to an accident victim, telling them, let's say they're semi-conscious, stay with me and, what's your name and so on. I wondered if that was actually helpful or it was just for dramatic effect in movies.
No, I think it makes sense because, Mr. McMahon, think of this, right? What if the wallet is displaced or flung somewhere and you can't get immediate action? Maybe if we can get the person's name, we can put it out and said, like, Cortensia was in an accident, and then Cortensia's family can come running,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think stuff like that could help, but I could understand. I even wanted to ask her if the vehicle is on the side and the person is still trapped on it. She said move away, but that sounds kind of rough. I wanted to ask her how do we deal with something like that, because she said don't pull the people. Yes, we would want to take them carefully, but how do I move away not knowing how I can help, and that vehicle might be eventually engulfed in flames? How does that work for my psyche?
Right, and I mean, the instinct, most people instinctively, run to the vehicle and, try to get the person out and yeah, so, yeah. But one aspect of it, which I guess the doctor wouldn't deal with, but which I think is equally important in avoiding accidents, is avoiding accidents in the first place. And that is the role of the things like designing our roads. You look at some, even the newer designing of the roads, and you wonder what were they thinking? Why our roundabouts, for instance, have such ridiculous approaches? Why are they built like how they're built? Why aren't they properly maintained? Why the striping in the road isn't properly maintained? I mean, simple things like that we just take for granted. We just let things slide, when in fact they contribute to road safety. We just take it for granted. I just don't understand, because it's been spoken about so many times before. But the maintenance aspect of it just isn't there. As far as we're concerned, maintenance means just patching up potholes and that's it.
Yeah.
When we build a new road, everything looks so nice and spanky new and all the signs and so on are up and so on. And then we just let them, if they fall down, we just leave them.
They fall down or we hit them down? Which one?
Huh?
They fall down or we hit them down?
Well, even if we hit them down, they were there for a purpose, and we should replace them, right? It does not speak to the management of things like that when we just let things slide like that, and deteriorate. It's just a thought. I mean, anybody coming in from overseas which have well-managed road systems and pay attention to things like those must think that we really are a third world country, despite our progress and advancement. Basic stuff we just leave unattended. Yeah. All right.
A comment you made, Mr. McMahon, a question. You wondered if speaking to persons who are unconscious, if that helps. In first aid training, one of the things they tell you to do when you get to an accident site, well, of course, once you work out who you're going to deal with first, you always keep talking to them and encouraging them. Though you may not get a response from them, apparently, though they are unconscious, I don't know, they may be able to hear, but it has a positive effect on them. In the movies, like you say, you see persons in a coma and people going and reading and singing and doing things that they have been accustomed to. It might just click off something and then start bringing them back. So the training always said, if you know the name, of course, fine, call them. It's going to be all right, Peter. I'm here. Help is going to come soon. Just stay with me and we're looking after you and you're going to be all right. Those positive things, they help to inspire them. Oh, you come like you left. So, but that, to me, that makes a lot of sense, because in normal life, we don't do it enough, but inspiring people and complimenting and congratulating, that's not one of our strengths as a people. I don't know if it's a black people, I don't know if it's a Caribbean people, I don't know if it's a Kittitian and Nevisian people.
I don't think so. It's just people overall.
But we need to do that. We're quick to tell you, girl caught and say, look good in the necklace ain't take you.
Okay, all right, no problem. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
Luxury isn't just worn, it's won. Introducing the new Precious Gem Super Ticket from Caribbean Lottery. 4 games in 1 ticket, 62 chances to win, and the chance to multiply your prize up to 20 times. Scratch to reveal diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires with prizes up to $200,000. This isn't just a scratch ticket, it's luxury in every scratch. Grab your Precious Gem Super Ticket today at Caribbean Lottery retailers island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Make today a payday with the Caribbean Lottery. Play $2 and get paid up to $2,000 every month for 5 years. That's 5 years of extra support for daily expenses. Take care of the people you love and get life moving in the right direction. Playing is easy. Pick 4 numbers and the cash ball to secure 5 years of guaranteed income. Build your financial future with Payday, the win that keeps on paying. Play now at the Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide and secure your payday. Must be 21 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
And we're back on Island Sea just about 19 minutes after the hour of 9. And we want to welcome our interviewee for today, Miss Shelly-Ann He Chown. I hope I said that correctly, Director of Bright Star Antilles. Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Good morning, and thank you. And you did pronounce it correctly. Yes, you did. So you get 10 points off the bat.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss He Chown. And tell us a bit about Bright Star Antilles.
Of course. Well, firstly, let me tell you about Bright Star Lottery.
Okay.
So Bright Star, we are the world's leading lottery provider, providing lottery services to governments and customers across 90 countries across the globe. So translate that now. Well, let's fast forward into the Caribbean, our region. Within the Caribbean in itself, we have 3 core operating entities within the Caribbean: Jamaica, Trinidad, and Bright Star Antilles. And Bright Star Antilles, we're going to be talking about today. And of course, our Coding and Robotics Rock Camp. Our players will more so know us as the Caribbean Lottery. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have been an active part of the lottery life in St. Kitts and Nevis since 1996. So we are not just here overnight. We have been here for quite some time, providing a series of lottery games and solutions to our players within the Caribbean.
All right. So let us dive into the camp. It's the 6th annual camp. What started this camp, and what ensured that it has maintained its longevity because it's in the 6th year?
All right. So the Bright Star Coding and Robotics Rock Camp, as you rightfully mentioned, we are into our 6th year of this camp. It is hosted across our English-speaking Caribbean territories. And this year in particular, we are hosting camps simultaneously in St. Kitts and Nevis, of course, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and St. Martin, with 70 young people between the ages of 11 and 18 participating simultaneously. Now, this robotics camp is part of our wider After School Advantage initiative, which is geared towards partnership with specific centers across the Caribbean in order to bridge that digital divide and to equip our youth and our communities with the knowledge and the technology to enable growth and development and sustainability within our communities.
How do you select or decide which countries host the camp?
So, in essence, the camp, so firstly, our camp is hosted by our After School Advantage centers. There are 38 of them across our English Caribbean speaking territories. And this camp is exclusively provided to the students who are part of those After School Advantage centers. So in the case of this year, we would have engaged with the various host countries and selected or secured the participants. And I mentioned that there are 70 participating as we speak right now in 2 levels in terms of the camp. Level 1 is basically entry level, no experience necessary for those students. And level 2 is a bit more advanced, designed for returning students who completed level 1 in previous years. This year in particular, we are very excited to introduce the AI component of the camp. But let me just take a step back and describe in terms of what does this camp entail and who we are partnering with. So this year's camp is themed Build the Future, Break the Mold, Engineering the Caribbean of Tomorrow. And that is really, really significant for us. When we take a step back and look at the infrastructure within the Caribbean, or when we look at life as we know it, let's be real about it. Whether we like it or not, technology plays a very important role in our day-to-day lives. The Gen Zs and the millennials know this all too well, right? So why not ensure that we enable and build a generation of innovative thinkers who will now be responsible for transforming the landscape of our Caribbean technology. So, very much in theme with this year's camp, we will be, our program was specifically designed in partnership with the Mona Geoinformatics Institute based out of UWI Mona campus. So, very, very carefully designed in terms of the curricula to shape the technology development and the theme.
All right. How many of the youths from previous camps are employed at the Bright Star Lottery?
So as the right now the camp is tailored towards 12 to 18 years of age, and as WLA, well, World Lotteries Association Tier 2 responsible gaming partner, we have to be mindful in terms of the age of recruitment because again we are looking at lottery. But what I can say to you is that the tools and the skill sets that these youths are equipped with takes them beyond the lottery. It takes them into careers that are technically driven, that will allow the development of various infrastructure within the Caribbean. So let's look, for example, at when we look at our transits, our school systems, our education, our healthcare systems. How do we now incorporate technology to drive that rigor, to drive that level of technology engagement? That's what our camp is intended to do. It's intended to equip them towards the technology careers and the innovative careers of the future.
All right. So who are some of the other stakeholders that are in this initiative with you?
All right. So I would have mentioned earlier about the Mona Geoinformatics Institute.
Yes.
And Bright Star has partnered with the Mona Geoinformatics Institute, led by Mr. Luke Buchanan and his team. His team would have developed the curriculum specifically, and again, this year we are looking at the theme Build the Future, Break the Mold. So looking at how our youth are equipped to innovation, to developing innovation, to drive that technology innovation. Coming back to the partners in terms of Mr. Luke Buchanan and the team at Mona Geoinformatics Institute, they not just developed the curriculum, but they are also leading the tutors and the hosts who are simultaneously training our 70 plus youths across level 1 and level 2 programs across the 4 different participating territories right now.
All right. So we know this is the 6th edition. So once these students would have completed level 1, do they do level 2 right after, or do they have to come back the following year, hence the camp years?
Yes, they come back the following year. So those students who are participating in level 1 right now, they have the opportunity next year to participate in level 2 of the program.
All right. So I did mention earlier that parents who might be listening might want their children enrolled in these camps. And you mentioned that it's after school programs that they are picked from. So these children must be involved in after school programs in order to be part of the camp. So they just can't sign up for the camp.
You have to be part of the After School Advantage Center, the Bright Star After School Advantage Center. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are partners with the Maud Cross Prep School. And I'm excited to share that very soon, I won't say when, we are actively looking at some additional centers in St. Kitts and Nevis. So I can assure you that in 2027, we'll hear about some more centers participating. So as much as we would like to open it up to the wider public, of course, we want to ensure that each of our students are immersed in a first-class technologically advanced program, and where they get that advanced tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, which is where we are very, we have to be very, I don't want to say restrictive, but we need to manage in terms of the participants. And just to expand a little bit more in terms of this year, you did ask the question about the level 1 and the level 2. So as I mentioned, level 1 provides the students with that basic entry level opportunity. Going back to this year's theme, which is Build the Future, Break the Mold, Engineering the Caribbean of Tomorrow, we are asking the students who participate this year to think about their islands. Think of the scale of the technology and the innovation that is available in the islands. How do we reimagine the education and the school systems? When we look at our hospitals and healthcare systems, the transit networks, energy and infrastructure, we are encouraging them to use the tools that they learn to reimagine and reshape the future of the Caribbean, which is why going back to the importance of that partnership with Mr. Buchanan and his team at the Mona Geoinformatics Institute, they have developed this program specifically based on the Caribbean landscape. So it's made for us in the Caribbean. And again, this year's focus is very much driven by artificial intelligence, which, as we know, is already shaping every sector and every part of daily life as we know it. So level 1 provides you that basic curriculum, and then level 2 students will study machine learning, explore how robotics are classified and used globally, and then work hands-on with Google Teachable Machines to build and train their own AI models. Now, tell me if that is not exciting for
Very
the youth out there.
exciting. Very, very exciting.
Very much. I wish I could have participated, but unfortunately, I'm not between the ages of 11 and 18, so I did not qualify. But it's really exciting, I would say, yes.
I always say I wish I can go back to school because the young people of today, they have so much or so many opportunities because we can't sometimes count them. And I really hope that they take these opportunities and run with them because they are excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yes. Yes, they are. Now, I am sure I don't know if you recall, probably I'm going to give away my age right now, but I remember when you had to study for exams, you had to go to the library and use the encyclopedia and the books. Now, at the tip of your fingers, you can use your mobile phone and Google.
Exactly.
You can engage AI to help develop everything to do with life. So I agree, technology has evolved, and where are we in terms of evolving as well? Which is why it's so important at Bright Star that we ensure that we provide our youth with the tools and the systems that they need to help shape and develop the Caribbean.
Right. So you mentioned the Moore Cross Preparatory School here in St. Kitts, Nevis, right? So this particular school will be part of this camp this year, right?
Yes, we do. And we currently have 5 students that are enrolled and participating right now. So as we speak over the next 2 weeks, it is a 9-day program.
Oh, so the camp has started already.
Yeah, we kicked off yesterday, and we will be having and enjoying 9 exciting days of the camp. And again, this is happening simultaneously across the 4 territories, the 4 Caribbean territories of St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Trinidad and Tobago, and Jamaica, all happening at the same time through virtual technology and innovation. Again, coming back to the benefits of technology.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you just now, Shelly-Ann.
Oh, my apologies. And this is one of the times it seems like technology is not being very good to us. No, I was saying that fortunately for us with technology, we have our 70 plus students that are participating simultaneously in level 1 and level 2 programs across the 4 participating territories using the same curriculum, joint tutors, all acting and working in collaboration thanks to virtual technology.
All right. So we may have persons listening that may be interesting and want to come on board to lend their hand, just like the folks from the Mona campus. How can they get in contact with you?
So we do have our office based in St. Kitts and Nevis, our Caribbean Lottery office, and I would like to take this opportunity to say a warm thank you to our business manager there, Mr. Chad Kelly, and the entire team at the Caribbean Lottery office. They can reach out and share their information with him. We are always looking forward to innovative ways in which we can partner and further support community and the development of our youth. So, and we can share that information separately offline, so that persons reaching out to the studio can reach out to him as well.
Okay, no problem. We do have a robotics club here in St. Kitts. Will there be any collaboration with this club? Did you know of it prior to now?
Yes, we did. And
Okay.
you actually, we did have discussions, and I have to say, kudos to the Robotics Association. Very, very much advanced and leading the way as it relates to technology and innovation and robotics. We actually toured their camp, their facilities a couple of years ago, and it was very impressive in terms of the level of innovation and trailblazing work that they have and continue to do. So, something to keep an eye out for.
So we have to wait for that. You're just
Yes, you
whetting our
do.
appetite.
Yes, you do.
All right. So when the camp winds up this year, in its 6th year, simultaneously across the islands, what is the hope? Or what is the eventual outcome or the goal that is set for this 6th edition?
So the importance is to ensure that all the participants are more equipped and immersed in technology, innovation, and the use of artificial intelligence. We want them to walk away with skill sets that can allow them to build and to think about what careers and technology and innovative careers they want to explore. As we know it right now, the traditional careers of being a doctor, a lawyer, when we think about it, there are robots that are conducting surgeries across the world. That's where technology is evolving to. So we want to ensure that our Caribbean students have the same level of access to information, training, to take them to first world global innovative standards and to help transform our Caribbean landscape as well. They will all receive at the end of this program certificates and official transcripts that are academically recognized and can be placed on their CV. So this is not just a 2-week program that ends. It is a 2-week program that is intended to build and develop that individual who participated and take them to the next step in terms of career mapping and development.
Okay. Well, I must say I enjoyed having this conversation with you this morning. I like where this camp is heading, and I hope all things equal, I will be speaking to you in year 7, which is just around the corner because the year is almost through, and I hope to get a postmortem from not only you on how this one was, but the students that were involved as well.
And we are excited to share that as well. Looking forward to it, and thank you for having us on this morning.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, and hopefully the next time I speak to you, you're in studio in person.
I'll make that happen. We can make that happen.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Shelly-Ann. It was indeed a pleasure, and keep doing great things, and we look forward, as I said, to hearing good things when this camp concludes.
Definitely, so do I, and thank you as well.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. studios. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC Home and Building Depot.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's at Cool One In's Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge, Bar and Restaurant opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool One In's Bar, Old Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meal. Saturday, September 5th, Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September, link up at Short Boss at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day, Cool One In's Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
And we're back on Island T, just about 9:41 in the a.m. And just to bring some international news, I see here on, well, it's just Google. There isn't a site. Well, I see the site now, so we'll go from here. So it says tensions in the Middle East have escalated rapidly. The U.S. resumed military strikes, and Iran announced it struck tankers in the Strait of Hormuz after President Donald Trump announced his plan to impose a toll on all cargo shipped through the vital waterway. So concurrently, the EU banned gold imports from Sudan to stem war funding. So these two stories are on BBC. And then there's some other stories that are on BBC as well. A Bangkok pub fire. At least 30 people have died in a Bangkok bar fire, with investigations revealing locked emergency exits and flammable decor. Wow. And in Spain, we know it's hot, hot, hot. I see folks over there are drenched. Sometimes when they're walking, they have their water bottle and everything. They're sitting by the rivers. They're taking their cool-offs. And I see severe heat waves are driving fast-moving wildfires near Paris. So to our friends over there in Paris and Spain, be careful, which have resulted in at least 12 fatalities. So we see lives have been lost. And these stories are from... This particular story is from CNN, so condolences, sympathies, empathies to those folks over there in those two countries, that's Paris and Spain. And then we see weather disasters, and this is from Global News. It says heavy monsoon rains and floods in Bangladesh have killed over 50 people. Oh boy. Every day you wake up, you see something is awry in the countries. I also see... Well, I saw on yesterday's news in the States that the TPS for Haitians have been removed, so a lot of them have to go back home. They're not gonna take it lightly. They say they're gonna fight. And for those who have the right to remain, probably have their documents and everything, have the right to remain in the U.S., they say they're already thinking about their next move when it comes to the next election. And that I got from a news article that came from NBC. So they're not going to be choosing willy-nilly, just like all those other folks that some of the Venezuelans that when Mr. Trump came in, they were singing, they had their songs, they will vote for Donald Trump, etc., etc. And when they came in, when he came in, I should say, Eventually, TPS is done. They're crying. They're up in arms. They may have to go back home. So the Haitians said they're not going to take it willingly sitting down. I saw varying other news articles where employers, Caucasian employers, were saying that the Haitian employees stay at their machines, they do their work, they make their quota for the day, and they wish they could have 30 more of these people. And they're basically saying that losing these people will hurt their business. Should I say it's a shame when you have people that are native that are not doing the work and people that are from other places doing the work, and one might say, oh yeah, they're working because they need to ensure that they make their keep, right? But to each his own. You want work, you do the work to keep your work. That's why when you hear sometimes people complaining about not having a job and others can come and find jobs, etc., but they're doing the work because they want to keep their jobs. Some might complain they're underpaying, they're undermining, whatever, but they are doing the work because they want to make money to make a better life for themselves from the countries that they are from. But I hope and pray that the situation with the Haitians in the U.S. works itself out and all will be well. On the Caribbean scene, though, I see a little, I saw something last night on a show where the incoming chairman of CARICOM says, well, we saw something that was put out that we may have to, or the EU is asking us to end CBI by June 1st, 2028. So we have less than a year and a half to see what happens. And on that show, I saw they were saying that banana died, because I know we had a thriving banana export industry in Dominica. I would have seen it for myself, and St. Lucia. I since would have noticed that the exports may have died down or they don't work at all. I'll have to find out. And then we see sugar is gone in. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
Good morning. They don't work at all. I'll have to find out. And then we see sugar.
Greetings.
Hi.
Yeah. Earlier, you had on, I guess, you're dealing with a school will promote the technology, right?
A camp.
A camp.
Yeah.
No, my concern when it comes to the technology, you guys go there, but I don't hear nobody talk about the bad, you know? What is the bad rate? Which means we're not talking the truth. You know? Okay, everything got good and bad in it.
That's true.
So why you want to come and talk the good and not the bad? And you have to talk the bad too. And then you going to decide whether overall, is it a good idea or is it a bad idea, you know what I mean? We just can't come and sell it in on one side, you know? And then the technology, we have to be careful in the sense that, well, how is this technology going to make us better people? You know, with all of this technology and advancement, are we becoming better? You know what I mean? We got to look at these things here, you know, not just the technology. You know, it's like, you know, the Bible tell you, but does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
Yeah.
So, with all of these advancements, we better know what life is all about, you know. We better know what life is worth. You understand? If you feel so life is just worth gaining material, you know what I mean, gaining status. Yeah, I mean, we need to go start all over again, you know what I mean? Because that's what life is about.
But the fact that we're heading into technology, the technological era, right, is going to be all about that. Yes, some of us might get sent home or whatever. And I don't mean it in that way, but because the eventuality is we see robots are serving people in China and all these places already, right? Don't you think it's good for us as humans to have a hand on it so they don't have a hand on us?
I think we as humans need to have a hand on ourselves as humans and to develop our humanity, because technology is being developed to replace humanity.
Basically,
The robot they were doing human work, just now humans were native are foreign in and not no work.
Yeah.
until we could develop our humanity, our God self, because we're making the likeness and image of God, you know. I mean, how we gonna find a way out of this? Guys, a tribulation I build up, you know.
Yeah, but do you think that the knowledge that we were given, because everything we have, we know it's from our Creator, do you think we are overstepping our place by increasing this knowledge? Yet eventually the knowledge might still try to overcome us, but the fact that we have a hand on it and we know how to deal with it, that we could probably still shut it down in some parts so it doesn't completely overrun us as living human beings.
You see the increase in knowledge, right? Increase in knowledge is a phrase, eh? Knowledge will increase and all of these things, right? But how is the knowledge increasing? Increasing in a way that most people being manipulated by it, which means we don't understand it. We are confused.
Yeah, but we got the knowledge, right? And it's us that's creating these things that will soon become our rulers or take us over. Because we are inputting...
Only if we the human beings subscribe to that. Remember, you know, we could decide our destiny.
Yeah.
So if a guy come and say, well, our destiny should be in this direction where the computer is advancement and we want our life to be more comfortable and, you know, we want the convenience and, you know what I mean? So then you choose that. See? So you choose to be dominated by machine. You know what I mean? But if you choose life, you know what I mean? You choose God where? Because God deal with life. You know what I mean? This way with these computers, this is man idea, you know. This some guy idea. This is not the idea of the Almighty. You know what I mean? So we must never forget the Almighty, you know, otherwise He done for us, you know. As long as we take the Almighty out of the equation, trust me, that there is destruction. You check? So our aim as human beings is to always keep the Creator in our equation and get brighter in the way of the Almighty, not in the way of this ideology, because this can destroy man. And the Pope done say it, you know, me hear the Pope, right? And them thing be, you know, him say, this can destroy humanity. You know what I mean? So we have to wise up, you know. I mean, like how long we gonna continue going along the same path, like you check? I mean, we could see what's gonna happen, you know. But we reluctant to turn away from it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know how we ever work, you know? But I can see that they're improving mankind.
Technology.
And the problem is, mankind need to evolve. That is what we're here to do. We're here to evolve. Can't let certain little gadgets that give us keep us back. And that is what we're allowing, you know what I mean? Playing a game. The game is a play.
But it's we who help create these gadgets, though, caller. That's what I'm telling you. With the wisdom that God gave us.
When you say we created, when you say we
human
created,
beings. Human beings. Not me and you. Yes.
Some human being, right? Who set a system to don't press the rest human being.
Okay.
Okay? Some human being got the idea. So we want to know what the rest of the human being are going to do. Because just set a system to don't press us. Keep us under pressure all the time. You know, tax for this, tax for that, tax to live and all. How you, they talk about you have to buy the land, you have to pay the land. But God gave us the earth. The Bible tells you, say, the earth is the large one. You know, the earth is the large and the fullness thereof. So how come we have to pay tax on God's earth? You know, see, so this idea that man have is set to destroy man, right? And we're feeding into it.
Okay.
You know, we need to stop feeding into it. You understand? And because you see, sometimes we feel like, oh, if you don't feed into Babylon system, you have a suffer and dead. No, it's when you feed into Babylon system, you suffer and dead. You know? When you see another way, it's going to help you. Okay? Because that way, because anybody could know, it's not a good way for man. You understand? Because how come our rights is not protected in this system? Yeah? Every little move is to take away your rights, take away your freedom. You know, sometimes I listen the traffic talk a lot and I just say, well, man, I'm going to wait on the more there. You know what I mean? Because
we have rights, we just got to use wisdom whilst we're on the road. The same thing with... What we're
It's
talking.
a privilege we got. We don't want a right. It's a privilege. That's why
So we
we get
got.
a license.
Okay, yeah. Because we have to be equipped to drive on the road. Because imagine putting
We have to
somebody on
come
the
out
road
of
who
that
can't
system.
drive.
We have to come out of that. You see, it's a mind thing being. We have to come out of that. Slave master put us in the frame of mind. It's a conditioning. We have to come out of it. That's why Marcus Garvey saying it's only we could free ourselves from that there.
Yeah, but then
Understand?
how do we have some form of semblance or order or all these things if we don't have people with license cards and accidents right now, right? Imagine if we put people who know how to just operate the machinery, but they don't have the right on the road. How do we protect the rights of others that will get injured by these folks who are not legal to be on the road?
Yes, so I'm saying that is your system, right? They give us a license to operate on the road. But I'm telling you, it is not a right we have. It is a privilege they're giving us to operate on the road. You understand? So it's not about right. So you realize the whole of the system is not about recognizing and preserving your rights and, helping you to evolve and making you into a better human. It's not about them things there. I believe it's not about them things there, what it is about. You understand? So this is where we have to reach, you know what I mean? Yeah, we have to really look into it, 'cause time going,
Yep.
Time going.
Waiting on
And we don't know half of the things that we're supposed to know as human beings living life today in the earth, you know what I mean? We follow in a system blindly. We mustn't follow nothing. Don't say like once you come in as, remember, them things there, right? Remember God gave you brains, He gave you ideas of how your life supposed to go. You know what I mean? But the system override all of these things here and, you know what I mean? Build one goal first and say, well, all of you go so. Well, who is that man telling us all of us go so? When the Almighty tell us you have a right to choose your own destiny.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have to wake up, man, and get it together, Yeah, man. Give thanks, yeah?
All right. Thank you, sir, for your contribution to today's program. Biff, you have anything to add?
Driving, we could never say enough about driving. We could never warn it enough. And I don't know. There tends to be that aggression on the road with younger drivers. Why, I'm not too certain. And a lot of this screeching of the tires, speeding out. I could never understand why that is needed.
They had the cash show the other night just across from me, and boy, I swear I smell smoke. I try and go sleep, and they're just doing that thing.
And it's ridiculous, and maybe penalties need to be stiffer. Or we could have all the laws and penalties in place. If they're not taken before the court, then it doesn't mean anything. The means and the use in the communities, we need to stand up and report and be able to go and give evidence, etc., etc. And the police need to do their part as well. Stand up and say, hey, no, enough is enough, because there needs to be that collective approach, that partnership between police and the community to help to solve these. Yes, we got to give thanks that there aren't more accidents and more serious accidents. Okay. So we could only appeal to the youngsters to drive with due care, attention, remember other drivers on the road, and even the pedestrians. And I keep warning about these motorized scooters. You don't know their deal unless they pass up. They're so silent. You don't hear a thing.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You have about 50 seconds.
Good morning, Cotencio.
Hey, Jam Down, how are you?
Sir. Yeah, this is Jam Down here. I was in Nevis on the weekend, And I was in Nevis on the weekend.
Yeah, I got you.
Wonderful.
And a lot of people was asking me, why is it WinFM and the West Medias them ain't asking about the committee, the SSV committee, when what Liz Joe say he farm? Why? It's a big concern, and you all must talk about these things, not just holding up the line and talking. You all and the media, I could do that when I come into an end. enough for where Bacchus had it. Most of them telling me that. I enjoy it. I didn't even know I didn't even know that me listenership is so big in Nevis. And they're asking you all to do better. Because it's problems out there and you all ain't talking about that. Africa looking after themselves, they got resources. Do not let we land go down to people like that.
But jam down.
It's children generation we dealing with.
But jam down, they had an opportunity to speak.
Better than that. Hold on.
I thank you for the feedback.
If I'm talking.
We thank you for the feedback, jam down.
Yes.
But they had an opportunity to speak on Friday as well with the demonstration, the protest march. And
yes, what the people is trying to say, take as much calls that you could get. Stop talking in between and engaging callers. When they're gone, you say a little thing and move on to the next caller.
But jam down.
People ain't like it.
Jam down the show.
You go over there, go hear it for yourself. I say I'm going to call in and talk about it today, you know.
Jam
Because
down.
it's a concern.
Thank you very much for the feedback, jam back. Well, the show is to allow you to call in.
Yes, I listen
and
to you.
there are times that we have to engage you. We have to engage the callers.
You have to engage when that like that.
Get their view, get their opinions.
Over the board and people calling. I saying me alone have the problem down here. If I know my number, so I want to kick me out.
No, we don't have call ID.
We don't have call ID, jam down, and we don't discriminate.
To call in and say what they got to say. You and the media, you could talk when you want. I gone.
Thank you very much for your feedback, jam down. We appreciate it. And
but that's not what Island Tea is about. We bring topics and we engage you. So we can't. Island Tea is not just about you calling in and relaying. Maybe that's something, I don't know if
better suited for voices.
For voices, yeah, because we come with topics and then our topics normally don't stay on topic. They get derailed because we just allow you to go wherever you want to go in that sense. So we're not cutting off anybody. We speak about destiny almost all the time because, as I said, people in St. Kitts are talking about destiny more than the people in Nevis. That's just the feedback that I hear. But we don't cut anybody off or do anything of the sort.
Plus, we have to engage the callers.
Yeah,
and
because of the type of program that we have.
Exactly. And if there are no calls, then we ourselves have to...
Yeah, we speak.
We have to speak. We have to discuss topics.
But I understand what they're saying. But we're not caring about the SSZ. We are talking about it. We are engaging our callers about it.
Exactly.
But there's only so much we can do. But we have to ask questions. So we must just let you come on here talk, and we don't ask questions to be the wiser. We too are trying to find information. Exactly.
We're learning from the callers.
So, and as Mr. Adrian said, if there's no transparency, then people will run with propaganda. Okay, caller, this will be our last call as we have to wrap up. You're live on Island Tea. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, jam down, man. It's nice to hear from you, bro. Yeah, of course, you have a lot of fans over on Nevis. And I got a request for you, bro. I need to contact you, man, on WhatsApp. Is there anywhere you can I gotta talk to you because I think maybe I might have a problem with yourself, having not having a smartphone. I wanted to talk to you about that. Try to reach out to me, man. Give me a call, 862-218-6422. You can get me on WhatsApp, even if you have to use somebody else's phone, bro. Reach out to me when you can, please.
Repeat the number again, please, Paul.
862-218-6422. And this number is just not for Jam Down alone. Anyone in the Federation that want to reach out to me to have any discussions or ask me any questions or anything, interaction with myself. You know, that's my number. Anyone is, can reach me at that number on WhatsApp especially. But I think Jam Down had a issue, right, about the Public Account Committee.
You have to make it very brief, Paul. We're over time.
Yeah, I'm going to cut it off right now. 30 seconds. Jam Down has a concern about the Public Accounts Committee not being operational, and we saw the Federation, the government, the administration that's in right now. They operated for for some time without the DPP. And then the leader of the opposition in the federal house, he's not doing his job. And then over at Nevis, they don't have a opposition leader in the Nevis NIA Assembly either. So these are the things that Jam Down is talking about. And then, generally speaking, we got to watch out for trying to curb freedom of speech and expression and assembly. You know, we have our democratic right to freedom of speech and expression, and we need to have that all the time. Thanks a lot.
Before you on ball, what did you say about Nevis and the opposition in Nevis in the Island Assembly?
There is no opposition leader in Nevis. So these are some flaws that we are operating the federation with. This stuff is unreal, Biff.
So Miss Danielle is not the opposition leader?
They don't have an opposition leader in Nevis, and they have one in the federal house, but he's not doing his job to make sure the Public's Account Committee is operational. And these are the things that Jam Down is pointing to. How will we be running a federation without the checks and balances? Man, that's the big difference between America and back home in the federation. And the lawyers, them on the ground, they're not challenging the government on any issues. But we see every day in the United States, whether you may think that Trump is winning or not, all his executive orders been challenged in court. And that same TPS that you talk about, contentious with the Haitians, that too is going to be challenged.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it there, man. Thanks a lot to you guys, man. You guys have a good day.
Thank
Come
you.
on, John, man. Reach out to I&I, man. 218-6422. Got to talk to you, bro. Yes.
All right. So thank you, Burl, and thank you to all our listeners and all who tuned in. We do this the same time tomorrow, 8 to 10 a.m., right here in the studios of WinFM. Have a great Tuesday. Remember to be kind to those.
You found the sound 98.9
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities, but there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services.